It is Thursday, April 25th, and the 6 human beings who are not on planet Earth have spent this day taking care of the equipment that takes care of them on board the International Space Station and supporting a number of the science experiments that they're pursuing during Expedition 35. After a morning planning conference today, with the flight control teams all around the world, Commander Chris Hadfield used a vacuum cleaner for some routine cleaning of pressure release valves and the cabin depressurization assembly in the European Space Agency's Columbus module. He then moved to the station's airlock and spent time doing preventive maintenance on the spacesuits that are worn for spacewalks on the U.S. segment of the space station. He was cycling the pressure valves on those EMUs and cleaning the cooling loops. Flight engineer Pavel VINOGRADOV started his day in the Pirs docking compartment, stowing the Orlan spacesuits and putting the last of the systems back into normal configuration after the spacewalk he conducted with flight engineer Romanenko last week. Romanenko joined him for those tasks after he had an exercise session wearing a lower body negative pressure suit that uses a vacuum pull to simulate gravity for the wearer. It's a usual protocol for cosmonauts who are getting close to returning to Earth. Romanenko, Hadfield, and flight engineer Tom Marshburn are due to come home in mid-May when they will have finished up about 140 days in space on this mission. Flight engineer Marshburn spent most of his day working with a life-size robot. Robonaut 2 is a technology demonstration aimed at developing better robotics for use in future exploration, including robots that can do work. Today, Marshburn telerobotically operated R2 via voice commands and wearing of a special helmet and gloves that translate his movements into the robot's movements. This is all done with the intent to develop the robot that could do work outside of the station without risking crew members on a spacewalk, as well as do more repetitive tasks that take place inside the station. Flight engineer Alexander MISURKIN started assisting Romanenko with his lower body negative pressure exercise this morning and then spent the rest of his morning working with Russian science experiments. After lunch, MISURKIN did maintenance at the Progress vehicle at the Pirs module, emptying its water storage tanks, while Romanenko and VINOGRADOV did more training with the Toru system, which allows crews to manually fly an approaching Russian spacecraft if the automatic docking system failed. Hadfield spent his afternoon wrapping up the spacesuit maintenance and also conducted an amateur radio contact with students in far northern Canada to answer questions about his mission. Cassidy and Marshburn have a similar thing on their plan for the day, talking with reporters at a Portland, Maine television station and a Sirius XM radio about the work that they've been doing during their time on board. The crew's also been getting ready for the scheduled arrival of a new shipment of supplies in a Progress cargo ship, which launched on Wednesday from the Baikonur Cosmodrome and is due at the Zvezda module's docking port at 7:26 a.m. Houston time on Friday. The mission managers are still looking into options for ways to deploy a navigation antenna that failed to deploy yesterday. Those meetings still underway. The crew members on board are looking forward to getting into that ship and unloading the fresh food and other goodies while they take time off duty over the weekend to get set for their next week of scientific research in low Earth orbit.